I was becoming everything that what we're teaching people how not to do. I was becoming that myself. And that was the change. That was the big changing point for me about besides anything else. It's like, yep, this needs to change. We need to change direction, business model, and I need to focus on my health first so I can give back to my business and the people around me.
Hey, fitness fans, welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast and interview series. This is your host, Eric Malzone, and this is episode number 127. And I talked to James Breese. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview for a lot of reasons. Number one, well, James is one of the founders, if not the founder, of Strength Matters. I met him years ago when I attended one of their summits in San Diego, California, and I got a lot out of it. It was actually one of my first fitness summits that I went to, and I went back. Brought my coaches the next year, and made it kind of a thing every year. It was a lot of fun. Now, the thing I really like about this story is that James and I have kind of walked similar paths, right? We got down into things, we got deep into entrepreneurship, faced some burnout, faced some physical issues, and we were kind of forced to step back and really evaluate, what do we want out of life? And I think in today's day and age, with the hustle of entrepreneurship, the glorification of entrepreneurship, really, it's a trap at times. Depending on what you want, what your values are, right? Pursue a business. If you're going to build a business, you might as well build a business that serves you in all aspects of what you want. James is currently at the point of this recording out in Austria. I'm in Montana. We're both skiing or riding our butts off because that's what fills us up. And then we make time for the work within that model. So it's kind of lifestyle first, life first, and then business is what supports that. And the messaging is amazing. We had a lot of great laughs. I really like James, and I'm excited for what he's doing now, how he's morphed Strength Matters into what it was from more of a publication to now a service, an online service. And I have no doubt that he's going to be wildly successful. I think he already is. But depends on your definition of success, right? So yeah, let's get right into it. Before that, this episode is brought to you by CertifiedCourseCreation.com. So I am now part of that team. I'm really excited to be part of it because we're literally making dreams come true. So, we get, if you've done the time in the trenches, right, within the fitness, health, wellness space, perhaps it's a good option for you to start pursuing, but you need to have a very specific knowledge set. You need to have something that solves a very specific problem and then proven it over and over again. So now you can teach others how to do it and make a great living on it. This could be your next big step. So go to CertifiedCourseCreation.com. We help our clients essentially take the idea, the concept, and then we do everything else, right? Help build a curriculum. We take the raw content, we edit it, scientific annotations, build out exams, build out the marketing funnel, all of the coursework on the side, you name it, we do it all, so that all you have to focus on is getting the knowledge out to the world. And we're looking for a few good partners, not a lot, just a selective group of really, really solid partners to push this forward and make some amazing things happen. So if you think that could be you, reach out to CertifiedCourseCreation.com. or just reach out to me personally. I'm happy to jump on a call and just identify the opportunity and see if it's something worth pursuing for everybody. And I would very much welcome that. So CertifiedCourseCreation.com. Now, without further ado, let's get into this interview with James Breese. It's awesome. I'll probably listen to it again and again. Number 127. Enjoy.
All right. And we are live. James Breese, welcome, man.
Thanks, man. Great to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I was just racking my brain. I think it's been 2016 maybe is when we last met, maybe 2015 at in San Diego.
I can't remember. We've done so many summits now, in the past. It must have been 2015, 2016 in San Diego, wasn't it? So
yeah. Well, it's a great summit, and we'll get into that. But I think you and I are pretty giddy to talk about something that we share passion about. So explain where you are right now physically. What's going on?
I'm currently living in Austria, in a little village called Kappel, Kappl. It's in between the famous resorts of Ischgl and St. Anton, for those who are into the skiing and snowboarding world. I moved out here in November this year. It's been one of the best life decisions I've made in a long, long time. Because like I said, you asked me before if I just come off the mountain and go, yeah, I literally did. So we've had a big snowstorm the last couple of days. So the last 2 days I've been riding powder, and it was bluebird again today. It was all tracked out, but it's now it's snowing again outside, and more powder again tomorrow. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment.
Yeah, it's so awesome, man. It's funny. I was I interviewed Max Shank yesterday, who actually I believe I met first at one of your summits.
Cool,
and
Max.
we were talking. He's like, "Well, what are you doing for the rest of the day?" After this was after recording, I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to go to the gym or if I'm going to go hit the mountain." And he's like, "I know what I would do." I'm like, "You're right." And so I went to the mountain, and I got good hour and a half in and came back. So for people listening, I'm in Whitefish, Montana, about 5 to 10 minutes from a ski resort as well. And I think James and I have made some pretty similar lifestyle choices when it comes to our business over the last year or two. And it's hopefully some people will get some ideas that maybe they can do things a little bit differently in their lives. And man, I could talk to you. We could do a full episode on resorts and skiing.
I know
all that, because I have so many questions about European skiing. I've been looking at I keep telling my wife, I'm like, we're going to Chamonix next year. We're going, but maybe there's better spots. So
I'll tell you, I'll cut it brief, but Chamonix is amazing. It's pretty cool. But nobody really ventures to Austria. And Austria is like a hidden gem of places. The resort St. Anton am Arlberg is renowned for its off-piste free ride skiing. The whole Arlberg region, it's had more. It's the second place in the whole world where it's had more snow than anywhere else. It happens every year. It's unbelievable. I highly recommend checking it out because it's a beauty of a place. It really is.
Yeah. That's incredible. Okay, I will. You have my word. I will check it out. I will spend a good hour tonight researching it down to the bone. James, because I think this is part will evolve into what you've done with your lifestyle and how you've shaped your business around it, because it's extremely powerful. And I think you and I both hold similar values when it comes to that. But give us your story, man. Give us a little bit of your background and your bio.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll try and keep it short. Cut me off if I overshoot in any way possible.
Let it run, man. Let it run.
Yeah. No, just in a nutshell, I grew up in Wales, which is on the west part of the UK, in a little town called Machynlleth. If anyone can pronounce that, it's Welsh is my first language. So that's one of the key things people don't really know about me, is that English is actually my second language. Believe it or not. But I grew up on a farm.
Many people know that Welsh is a language, man.
It's one of the oldest languages in the world. Yeah. It's a really old Germanic style language. It sounds very similar to Arabic. If you speak Arabic, I'll always give this as an example. If you can say "excuse me" in Arabic, which is "la muachaza," is how you say it in Welsh. It's the same pronunciations. It's not the prettiest of languages in any way, shape, or form, but anyway, that's kind of like where I grew up on a farm in Wales. Sports were my thing: football, soccer, rugby, cricket. They were my two passions. I was all geared towards trying to become an elite professional cricket player. That's what I wanted to do. That's what my dreams were. Sadly, injuries, life, lack of talent, I think, got in the way slightly along the way. But I kind of fell into university, did French and German, which is kind of why I live in Austria now. I discovered Austria when I was learning German back in my early days here. But it wasn't really I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, other than I enjoy speaking languages and loved just talking, going out and doing active and sporty things. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So somehow I fell into the police. So I was in the police in London, working there for 10 years, ended up working drugs and firearms. I ended up working within Brixton, within Southeast London. Absolutely had a blast. Fantastic time working there for 6 to 8 years. And then things into 2008, 2009 crash came, which hit the world over, and things started to change, which meant I started to question what I was doing. But when I was there, I was doing more training. I've always been passionate about training, health and fitness. But when I was working in the police, I was doing more training within the police. And that's kind of how my love and that passion for the health and fitness and coaching industry kind of started. It was coaching and working within the police, and then just quickly transpired out of the police into the world of health and fitness. First company was Kettlebell Fever. We quickly became the biggest distributor of cast iron kettlebells in Europe. It was more of an e-commerce store. We started off promoting and selling Dragon Door kettlebells. Then in the end, we did our own with Black Series. And then as that was growing, we decided that, or we saw that there was more of an opportunity in education, basically, and helping people. And it's kind of my passion of why I left the police in the first place, was we wanted to do more, helping people rather than the e-commerce side of things. And plus, other businesses were catching on to us quickly that we were the only people selling kettlebells, and they started, cutting all their prices on kettlebells, selling at a lead loss, basically. And we were like, we don't need to compete in this. There's only one route to the bottom here. Let's focus on our education and courses. So from Kettlebell Fever, Strength Matters was born. This is what obviously we're here talking about today, is like Strength Matters came out of Kettlebell Fever, the need for education. And the name started on a t-shirt, and more people bought that t-shirt than any other Kettlebell Fever t-shirt we bought. And here we are today, basically, living in Austria, running Strength Matters from here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you, when we were talking beforehand, you had mentioned that, well, we both talked about it. It was very similar in some ways, how, you worked hard, right? Building a great company, a great brand, but something in your life was missing. Right. And you shifted your business around your lifestyle to optimize what you felt was empty, or something was not empty. That's a bad word. That's a very downtrodden word, but something that was missing. Right. Tell us about that transition and that thought pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I left the police and I fell into like coaching, and I was, a personal trainer, going to people's homes, coaching people. That was kind of my thing, as well as teaching large groups within the police. I was loving that. I was really enjoying that. And then somehow along the line, I was approached by other trainers and staff to come and, hey, can you help me show me what you're doing, particularly around the kettlebell side of things, and started building this. And I started growing on this. And somehow when I left the place to go into coaching and working with people, but somehow I'd fallen into this educational pathway of helping other trainers and coaches, which was fun, and I kind of enjoyed it. But it led me into a very different business model when I first started doing things. And it was great, and I learned a lot from it. But it wasn't becoming true to who I was and what I was doing, which was helping people over 30, which is my passion, living an athletic lifestyle. But as we were growing and trying to scale this in the way that most traditional businesses do, it was like, well, suddenly my health was going downhill, as well as my stress levels were increasing significantly. And I wasn't doing the things that make me who I am, such as like watching some sports on TV, going snowboarding as much and as often as I possibly can do, going running. It sounds crazy, but like I love lifting heavy things. Strength does matter, per se. But like I was missing a big part. I was falling away into this clique and this group of, say, professionals that wasn't conducive to who I was. I kind of got washed away with it. It was like, whoa, hang on, what's going on here? And it was only until the business had a couple of major setbacks where we had a big legal case which we had to deal with, which was phenomenal. Never experienced it before. We do not want that to ever go through that again. We won it, right? Which is the main thing. But then the second thing was Brexit. If those who are in the US who are watching don't know what Brexit is, when we left the European Union, the pound plummeted against the dollar. And man, I tell you what, that teaches you more about business than anything, is managing finances and understanding like cash flows and whatever. And it was just those moments happened in my life, and it started questioning who I am and what I was doing. And I realized, do you know what, this needs to change. And we needed to go from what we were doing predominantly with coaching education to goes, now actually, this needs to be more about who I am and be, a representative of who I am as a person as well, to coaching to everyday people, basically. And that was it. It was like, I need to focus on myself. And because if I'm not focusing on myself first, I'm not going to be able to give the most to my family, my business, my friends, my hobbies, or anything like that at all. And that was the starting point to go, and something needs to change in the business to allow me to lead the life that I want to live. And it's been one of the best decisions I ever made. Absolutely, hands down.
And if you can, what exactly changed? Like, what was the change, and how was it making that change? And I'm asking these questions because I think I've had similar experiences, right? And a lot of times when you're very entangled in a business, you're entrenched in your business, and you have that, entrepreneurial mindset of you're like, I'm on a path, I'm grinding it out, right? Like you get into your daily or weekly habits that are part of your business that you think pushes it forward. How was it like what kind of changes did you make, and how was that shift? How did you handle that?
The first major realization, take away the business for the side for the moment. The first realization was I was living in Australia. I was living in Melbourne in Australia. A beautiful place, love the city.
Sure.
Going back to Australia next month, and I can't wait. But the biggest thing was I went trail running. I went for a run for the first time in about 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years. It sounds crazy. If people knew who I was and what I did beforehand, they're like, "What? You haven't been running in 6 years?" No, I haven't. And I went for a run. And I couldn't run more than 2 minutes. Like it was like a light bulb moment. I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and she did a bit of running. She's not a professional, and she's with her friends. And they were looking at me going, "Well, you're a fitness professional. What's wrong with you?" And it was like that embarrassing moment of realization that, hang on a second, there's something not right. My business, that I should be able to do this. Why can't I do this? So it set me on a path of rediscovering my own health and realizing actually, I need to fix what I'm doing wrong with my own training. I'd essentially become, like I laugh and joke about it, I'd become like a fat powerlifter. That's essentially what no offense to any powerlifters out there. I do apologize, not trying to offend anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd fall into this mindset of 5 by 5 or like no more than 3 to 5 reps, and like rest 5 minutes in between sets, and like cardio is the devil. And I'd fall into it, and it helped me. And I learned so much from it, but my overall health was gone. Like it wasn't making me healthy. It wasn't doing the things that I love doing. So that was the first major shift, is realizing, well, I actually need to change my training. So when I changed my training, I then looked at the education of what we're doing at Strength Matters. And I looked at it going, hang on a second, this isn't right. This isn't conducive now to what I believe in anymore. And so that was the first shift, was like this oil tank of Strength Matters machine that was going around the world. I had to look at the education platform and go, right, this needs to change. And when I started to look at the education platform, and I was getting, so obviously in the changes I was making, it was representative of who I was now. I was getting people, fighting back a little bit, going, weren't happy with the changes, as in people who've been with us for years, and it's totally okay, just a difference of opinion now. Mm-hmm. And I realized, no, I need to change the business model as well, because I'm busting my gut in the old model and something's not quite right. It's just adding to my stress levels conducively. So the first month was health. That was the first thing. My health was going downhill. My stress levels were going up. I wasn't doing the things I needed to do. And then I looked at the business and went, actually, this isn't doing what I wanted to do. Like it looks glamorous on social media, Instagram, Facebook, me going from country to country. Yeah. But my overall health was shot to pieces. Sure. Like when you're living off 2 to 3 hours sleep a night, when you're having to manage all these different time zones, you're eating crappy food because you're always eating out. Like the other thing, this is quite funny. I was looking at my food bill, like doing all my accounting and stuff each month. I was looking at my food bill, eating out. It's like close to $2,000 a month. And I was like, this has got to stop. This has got to stop, just because of the travel, eating out. You go for the burgers and fries where everyone else is there with you because they can do it on the weekend. But when you're doing it every weekend, it becomes a grind. I was becoming everything that what we're teaching people how not to do. I was becoming that myself, and that was the change. That was the big changing point for me. Besides anything else, it's like, yep, this needs to change. We need to change direction, business model, and I need to focus on my health first so I can give back to my business and the people around me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And if you look back then, right, and you fast forward to now, what is your daily routine look like? How is your lifestyle different?
Completely different.
Awesome.
Like it's like chalk and cheese. So like if I look back to let's take that day in question I went trail. It was a Sunday afternoon. Let's look at the week around that time. I'd be up at 6 a.m. managing emails, doing phone calls. Like 6 a.m., which was normally I'd work through to 10, 11. I'd have client calls here. This is when I was living in Australia, so all the different time zones and everything. I'd work through to about 2, 3 p.m. I'd maybe have an hour or two off between 3 and 5 to get out of the office, because we had like a makeshift office there, get some food, get some shopping, no time to train, right? And then between 5 p.m. and like 10 p.m., I was then working with my UK team, working with them. So this was continuous, like Monday through Sunday. Like I was on like a hamster wheel going round and round and round and round. And it was just like this. It wasn't productive for me. It wasn't productive for my friends, family, girlfriends. It wasn't productive for the business itself or the people, the clients we were serving. Fast forward to today. I'll give you an example of today, which is just a very typical day. I'm up at 6 a.m. I get the bus into the resort. First lift at 8:30 a.m. I'm in the coffee shop by 7:30 a.m. I have a coffee. I'll have a bit of breakfast sometimes. Like today, I had some smashed avocado on toast. Which has finally come to Austria somehow. It's quite amusing. But good Austrian coffee. I had smashed avocado on toast this morning, and I'm there checking my emails just for half an hour while I'm waiting for first lifts. I'll get first lifts on the mountain by 8:30, and I came down today at 1:32 p.m. Showered, changed, 3 p.m. I'm doing the rest of my emails, writing blogs, doing more vlogs, like creating more content, and like being there for my team. So even though I take the mornings off per se, it also gives me time to think about what I'm doing, how I'm doing, the ideas for blogs, for vlogs, for podcasts that we want to do. And then in the afternoon, I come down and action it in a much cleaner state of mind, so to speak, with a lot more perspective on things. And like I'll work through to like 9 p.m. But that's the lifestyle that I choose. Like it's not, I'm not saying everyone should work through to 9 p.m., but I prefer taking my time in the morning, giving me clarity, giving me my exercise basically. Like it's like as you know, riding 4.5 hours of powder constantly nonstop is brutal. Yeah. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. And it's fantastic. So
man,
and that's the lifestyle now.
I'm so happy for you. I think it's so amazing. And I think, if there's something that I hope people get from this is, especially because in the fitness and health industry, it's, kind of by nature entrepreneurial. I talk about it all the time. There's not like there's very few of those jobs you can get into on a corporate track, spend your 30 years, get your 401k or pension and move on, right? It just doesn't work that way in our industry, and probably because it's so young. But when people hear that, and I've been at so times obsessed with the numbers, right? The business, the brand, and meanwhile, completely just been absorbed by that and forgetting of what I really enjoy. And when I sold my facility in 2017, after 8 or 9 years of running it, I realized I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. My wife and I, every weekend, we're in Santa Barbara, California, which by all standards, probably like Melbourne, beautiful place, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely gorgeous place with great community and all those things. You name it, like Santa Barbara checks a lot of the boxes, right? And but every weekend we're like, God, I just want to get to the mountains, right? So we'd go like take our little trailer and we go to these little foothills and we just sit out there. And then eventually just came to this realization, like, what are we doing? Like, really, like, what are we doing? Why aren't we pursuing what we want to do in life? Because, I was nearing the age, I think I was 39. Now I'm 42. I was 40, I guess. When 40 hits, I don't know how you are, James, but when 40 hits, you're like, oh, wow, I'm statistically halfway through. What is going on with my life? And we made the move. It was a bold, and that change for me was, much more, maybe more significant, maybe not. But I had to sell a business. I had to rent our home. I had to do all these things. But when people, when people are listening to this, what I want them to get out of it is like, if you feel in your gut, right, that you're not living a lifestyle that's true to you, right? Not true to everybody else, right? But true to you and what you truly desire and what makes you happy, you can make the change. It doesn't have to happen overnight, but you just kind of select like, okay, what's the very first thing I need to do, right? For me I just had to write a list of people that I thought would be great buyers of my gym. That was it. That was step one, right? The next day I took step two. I'm like, okay, well, let's think about this. How would I price it, right? Called a couple people. Step three, right? You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't, people get so intimidated by the size of the change that they don't do anything. And then nothing happens. And then 5-10 years go by and their health is decreasing, right? They have this wish list of things that they want to do and they never do them. And I applaud you, man. I think it's awesome.
It's exactly the same. And like I said, for any fitness professional out there listening to this or hearing this, like the conversations I've had with so many former gym owners, and I mean it, former gym owners, right? Who, because the dream is you get, it's like the American dream, and with work and like getting 2.2 kids or 2.4 kids, like working 9 to 5. It's the same kind of dream you get sold to at PT school. Like, okay, you need to work here, work in corporate a couple of years, open up your own facility, and then you've made it. As soon as you open up your facility, you made it. However, there's so many people I know who've gone bankrupt through it. So many people I know who, like after like yourself, after 8-9 years, realized, hang on a second, I'm working 7 days a week, working my ass off for this. Like, what am I doing? Like, and we do it to help people. We all get into the fitness world because we love fitness ourselves. We're passionate about it, and we want to go in and help people. And I get that. I applaud it. I'm exactly the same way with you guys. I totally understand it. But then reality kind of bites, and it's you're not doing the things you're not going on vacation. You're not going on all these different things, and it's a constant theme I'm hearing and seeing all the time. But like you said, you have to take the first step. It's just that 1%, that one thing. And for you, it was like writing a list of buyers. For me, it was realizing my health. I need to fix my health. That's the first thing. I need to put myself first there. And then suddenly it starts to build. And once you start doing something that's true to you, you start to attract more like-minded people. And it's tough, it's tough at the beginning because you always hear, oh yeah, we don't like the direction you go. You don't like what you're doing anymore. It's like, you get through that. And then there's billions of people on this planet. And the more you are happy with yourself, the more you can share what you're passionate about, the more like-minded people you attract, and it starts to resonate and build from there. And that's just what I've experienced in a lot, particularly in the last 6 months, more than anything.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you and I are talking, right? I mean, I don't know why I reached out to you, really. I think it was just a Facebook Messenger, and I was like, hey, man, I saw something you posted. I'm like, hey, I forgot. God, yeah, I really want to interview James. I forgot. And here we are talking about, your experience in Austria and my experience in Whitefish, Montana, and very similar, different journeys. And it's just weird. The universe has an interesting way. And, one of my new joint venture partners is someone I met while I happened to be in Golden, British Columbia, right? He's a facility owner, but he's much more. He's, a very successful business person. But we just happened to be in the same town, the same time. He invited me over to his place, had a couple drinks of whiskey. Next morning, we cruised up the mountain and we talked about business and life. And there we are, right? And very similar values. And that's, that's a big part of it is understanding, really being true to your values and what it is that, James Fitzgerald, who's been a presenter at your guys' summits, he always talks about understanding someone's values, not only your own, but, your clients, your coaches, or the people you work with, and how drastically important that is.
It's honestly, it's funny because it was James. Like, again, it's funny how certain things bring us together. Like, it's James and Jim. Like, I've been speaking to during a lot of the fitness, the business side of things, and like through health and stuff like that. It's funny. I'm actually doing I've watched James for a long time, but I'm actually going back into coaching myself. And I was like, hang on a second. I've been out of the coaching game for a long time. I've been in the education game. So like I've missed this big step. So like, even though I was building my business development, my skills as a business guy or entrepreneur were going up, my coaching skills were coming down. Yeah. And I started to go, hang on a second, I need to sort this out. And the first person I reached out to was James Fitzgerald. Right, man, I'm doing your cert, I'm doing your course.
Oh, like awesome.
I've been saying I wanted to do it for a long time, and it's one of the best things I ever did. Like, it's one of the best. I love their approach to how fitness. It's very true to how we do things, and it's how we do things and their values and mindset. But like I said, small worlds, different things, like speaking, coming to an event, seeing things coming together. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Have you done the OPEX?
CCP, been through it. So it's like, again, for any coach out there, it's one of the best things you can do. It's highly, highly recommend it, particularly for development. And I think their work on energy systems and building from alactic power into lactic endurance is some of the finest work out there, I think, on that type of stuff. So as you can probably see, I'm a big, big fan of him.
Yeah. Well, James, he was my coach for about 2.5, 3 years when I was, doing more CrossFit and training, it was part of my job. And I also went through all the CCP stuff back when it was all in person, and when he was at his first location in Arizona, and when he was still called OPT, and all that stuff. And it really developed. It pushed forward my personal and professional development significantly. And, neither of us are getting paid for this, but OPEC education is really good. I think it's right up there with any of the best. So what what do you do now? What is Strength Matters now? Or you get, because I know you've shifted and morphed. Like, and today's recording is March 6th, 2019, just so people have a marker.
Yeah, so absolutely no. So again, I almost said a German word then. Like I almost said damals. Like that's like it's funny. Just quick side note. One of the main reasons to come back to Austria, I'm doing more business and work in Germany at the moment. So I wanted to improve my German. So it's very rare for me to speak English on a day-to-day basis. So if you hear an odd German word every now and then, like I do apologize, everybody. Like it's me thinking German as it goes. But no, Strength Matters was, and I mean this here now, it was a coaching education platform. We had a media, we had a magazine, we had all this media, and it was all geared towards coaching education. However, our message wasn't clear. If someone asked me what the Strength Matters do, I'd say, well, we do a magazine, we do education, we do certs, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this, and we do a summit. And I couldn't articulate what we did. It was just big jumble of kind of cool stuff. You've been to one of the events, it's kind of bringing everyone together, but I couldn't articulate who we are or what we did. Like it was here. And during this transition now, so we stopped all the certs, we stopped all the courses. Doesn't mean I won't do any again, maybe later down the line, but as of today, I can honestly say, if someone asks us what is Strength Matters, I can honestly say that we help people over 30 live a pain-free athletic lifestyle. Well, that's what we're about. That's what we try and do. It's the over 30s market. And we predominantly do it with online fitness remote coaching and adopting our model for everyday people into this realm because, personal training is great. But it also has a shelf life with a lot of personal trainers.
Yes.
I'm a big believer in individualized fitness coaching. As you're aware as well through the OPT and OPEX and that type of method here, I'm a big believer in that. I think it's a huge thing. And putting ownership back on the individual to take responsibility for their own health. If you're doing personal training, it becomes just kind of dictating, you do this, you do this, you do this. They walk away, they kind of forget what they're doing. However, providing an individualized coaching approach, you're actually getting them to gain ownership of their thing. And we're extending the 2-3 sessions per week into 7 days, multiple times a day, working on habits. And it's been one of the best things we've ever done, driving on here. So we want to kind of gear towards and pioneer toward the over 30s fitness pain-free athletic market, the people who used to be athletic but are no longer athletic because life, family, kids, work, all this has hit. Those are the people we're trying to work with now, and that's kind of our niche in our market. So it's very much changed from not knowing who we were to being very specific, going, no, this is our target market now. This is what we do.
Yeah. And it's a great market. I mean, that general population market that you're talking about, they're very fun to work with, very rewarding, depending on where they're. So you guys, let me give you more. So you guys do online remote coaching for people?
Yep.
Plus education? Okay.
We do online remote coaching. We stopped the education for coaches at the moment because we've had to reflect on everything that we do as trainers as well. Our system, how we're pushing out education, it's not saying it's not valid anymore. It is, but we've moved so far ahead of it that we're struggling to keep up ourselves, and there's no way we can teach trainers what we're doing, how we're doing, because we're still developing and improvising, because the world of individualized fitness coaching and remote coaching is brand new. There's a lot of online training, and a lot of online training, if you can become a certified online trainer anywhere at the moment, and they'll tell you the same thing. Make videos, give customized, give random PDFs and downloads, let them do it on their own. Well, that's not our model. It's very bespoke. It is down to the T who the individual is, and it's human to human coaching, we call it. Whereas we get an in-depth into, how much are they sleeping, how much are they walking, how much water are they drinking. Those are the first 3 stats we now build up, and it goes into basic health screens, and then it goes into strength assessments, movement, etc., etc. We're not giving them a template or a cookie cutter with watch these videos, try this out. No, it's down on the personalized, individualized route.
Yeah, I love it.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. So, walk me through this, from a client experience. If I come to you guys, I'm like, hey, I need help, right? I'm a potential client. What does that whole experience look like?
So yes, again from professionals who want to know how we do and what our kind of funnel is and how we do things. So this is actually brand new. We've actually introduced this 2 weeks ago, and it seems to be converting better.
You heard it here first, people.
Exactly. But yeah, I haven't taught this anywhere yet. This is like, what we do. So if you go into strengthmatters.com, you'll see our tagline at the top, and you'll see our call to action multiple times through here. And it's called, our tagline now is start your free 7-day experience. Okay. So what we're doing now is taking from the world of technology, and a lot of one of the objections people have is credit card details, handing over credit card details for not knowing what they're paying for yet or anything.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've looked at the technology world. We've looked at like SaaS companies, all these different companies, and how they've done it. And they all do it. Start your free trial, no credit card required. And I go, that's interesting. These are billionaire companies. Like, how can we apply this to fitness? So the first thing happens if people want to start working with us, we go, okay, right, well, you want to start your 7-day experience? Great. Apply to do what we're doing. So start your 7-day experience. They fill out an application form where we fill out basic information about them. And then we ask them 2 questions. 1, are you prepared to invest in your health and fitness? 100% of people say yes, right? And the second one, right at the end, is if you enjoy your 7-day experience and would like to work with Strength Matters, prices start at $249 per month. Is this within your budget? Would you be able to afford this if you can work with us? Close to 70% of people say no. So 70% of people don't go through the application. They don't go past the application phase because we're here. But if you pass the application phase, we put them into our assessment program. We get them onto the online system, and we take them through the 7 days of assessments. Our assessment system basically takes up to 2 weeks, depending on who we're working with, the ability of the athlete or the individual. Most people, it's 3 to 4 days, for the everyday person, but we say a week. So we give them 3 to 4 days. We get them to do the assessments. We have a coaching call with them. We get them to try a couple of workouts out. If they like it, then we'll get on the phone and go, hey, what do you think? Do you like it? You've tried it out with us. What's your impression? Great. Yeah, let's get working together. So far, we've converted 100% of people doing this in this new model.
Yeah.
Before we'd say, hey, do a 6-week challenge, pay for a 6-week challenge. And then it was good. It worked. But we'd sell a one-off payment of $249 for 6 weeks, including the assessments. And then we say, hey, then we do an upsell. Now we had like an 80% upsell conversion rate from that, which is pretty good. But I wanted to try this other style out here now. So again, it's 2 weeks old. So we've had less than 20 people, convert this on this model, but it's been 100% success rate because it's try before you buy. They speak to your coach and it's an easy conversation. Hey, did you enjoy this? Would you like some help putting a plan together? This is what you need to work on. We can help you. It's that easy conversation stage.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense, man. I think it's great. It's simple, which I'm a big fan. I tend to overcomplicate things and I like things that are simple. I do it all the time. Drives my wife crazy. Interesting. So you guys are doing online coaching. Is that kind of the primary, revenue streams for you, or is that really what you're focusing on now? Or is there anything else you guys do on the tertiary?
Yeah, no, it is now. Like I said before, we had the magazine. We had a bunch of media, and the magazine used to be our main driver of revenue. Yeah. But we stopped the magazine because it wasn't representative of who we were anymore. It was like, well, we've got this expensive but great producing magazine. It looks great. But it isn't really about who we are and what we do. So we kind of rebranded the podcast from the Strength Matters podcast to Fit Over 30 by Strength Matters, which, by the way, just by changing the name in 2 weeks and not releasing any downloads, our number of downloads per day doubled, absolutely doubled. We were on 20 to 25,000 downloads a month anyway, and it literally went to 40,000 downloads by changing the name within 2 weeks. And we were like, okay, there's something in this. It's Fit Over 30 by Strength Matters now. That's the key thing. And then we realized, well, actually, we need to do the same with the magazine. So, we are going to bring a magazine back, but it's going to be aimed at Fit Over 30 because I think it's something that's, print media is a dying breed these days. I think it's good quality needs to be brought out. So we will be going back to it. However, the main focus at the moment is we want to get, we want to hit some targets within our online coaching platform and make sure we build a robust system that is systematized from start to finish. What are the protocols for this? And that's what we're building at the moment. So everything else is pushed to the side until we firmly develop this and make it run like clockwork is what we're doing at the moment.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah. So it sounds like maybe you let some things go as well.
A lot
How'd
of
that
things.
feel?
Scary as I was going to swear then, but scary as anything.
It's all right. Yeah.
Like because like if I'm being honest, like we pretty much wiped off £750,000 to £1 million, not dollars, pounds off of revenue a year from the company. And it was like, okay, this is scary. However, we made the changes behind the scenes to counteract, because here's the thing in fitness and in business. Like if you make $1 million and only make 10% profit, you know, you still, it's like, it's not that good. Really, you know, like it's like you've got that much margin, the cash flows all over the place. You make 100,000 and you make 10% profit, it's a completely different ballgame altogether. But it's like the costs, everything got here. So like it was hard for the first 2-3 months as we were changing everything, but it was, again, like focusing on one thing, as in having multiple different things going all over the place, like a crazy, like a squirrel on crack. Like it was just like, I say that. I say that. I should quantify that actually, because I actually have seen squirrels on crack terrorizing people in the high street in Brixton, in southeast London. That's a true story. Like they used to steal all the drug dealers, like bongs of crack, like high as anything. Like they'd be all over the street. But it was. I realized I was like a squirrel on crack, like going, okay, is this project here? No. Now it's laser focused. One thing, do it well. Once you've done it well, and you have a system twice, and you can pull yourself out of it, then build the next thing and slowly build up and build up. So that's what we're in a massive rebuilding phase. But but creating foundations for much better growth long term, and to better serve the customers and clients that we work with, and the people who just read our stuff and want to learn more about the everyday athlete lifestyle, as we call it.
Yeah, that's great, man. It is scary. It's scary letting go of things, especially something you built, work so hard to build, right? And then you realize, and that's it's the vanity numbers too, right? Like people look at top line revenue and they're like, wow, this company is worth 10 million, right? And then meanwhile, A, the people are working are miserable. B, the profits are actually very thin. Margins are thin. They're unpredictable. And the costs are so high that you don't sleep at night, right? Because what happens if you take that big drop, right? Which happens every once in a while. You take a big hit, a lawsuit comes across, right? And then you're not sleeping. I mean, you're sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. That lawsuit, you're probably sleeping 0, right?
Oh man, it was the worst. I tell you, if there's one lesson that I can give to anybody out there, is that if you're doing big contracts and with certain companies and certain institutions, I can't really say too much because of the court proceedings, but it came down to employment contract law within Strength Matters. That's what it was within the UK. It's very complex. It was a very complex thing with the outside contractor.
That was awful.
It was a nightmare. And we were in the right, and to say quite easily that it was the person who was putting us through it was on his last legs. It was a one-ditch effort to try and save his company. He was trying to take us down with him. So it was an interesting, but have watertight contracts. Pay for a lawyer. You may think, oh man, I don't want to pay this $3-4 grand for this now. But if it's something significant, get it done right, because it'll save you a lot of money, a lot of heartache, and a lot of stress. Because I'll be honest, there was a good 6-month period where I didn't think that Strength Matters was going to survive. So much so that I had to sell my house to try and invest back into the company, try and cover it. I've never shared that anywhere. That's first online.
That's heavy, man. That is heavy.
Yep. It was one of those things. It was one of the best decisions I made was in 2005 when I bought a house through the police network, the police scheme. They were helping key workers or like first responders buy property in London. And I bought it in the end at the bottom of the crash in 2007. Unfortunately, it over doubled in price, and I was able to get a fair bit of money back from that. And that's what helped me to take it into the company to safeguard it up and make sure Strength Matters is still alive today. But it's all these different things happened, like in different things. And I'm not going to regret any of them. Like it was one of those things where, do you know what? That happened for a reason. I've learned from that now, and I'm a better individual from it. I've learned so much from it, and it's I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Yeah. Wow. So as you guys build or rebuild, if I'm listening to this and I'm a trainer, right, who does remote coaching or maybe wants to get into that, are you guys building a team for that?
Yeah, so we're building a team. We got 4 coaches working with us, and that's kind of what we want to keep at the moment. Yeah. Our client to coach ratio is 1:30.
Okay.
So we want to keep this as like high quality as opposed to mass market type thing, because this is what I'm seeing a lot of. Like, I kind of we fell into online coaching because I saw this thing, online coaching, just pop up a few years ago, and I was looking at it going, this is a new trend.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like all the fitness marketing gurus are going, hey, become a instant online trainer, earn 6 figures in a month type thing. I was like, okay, well, there's something in here.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this. And then I looked at it and I was like, hang on, they're just doing generic stuff for generic people. It's just like a Les Mills, no offense, Les Mills people, Les Mills class for people, like cookie cutter approach. Go. I think there's an opportunity to develop this and see it as a system to work beyond here, because I think the technology here, like using the scope of practice, we can extend this way beyond people's expectations. Like, the thing we hear the most is that, hey, hang on a second, I used to go to a personal trainer and work 2 to 3 sessions a week. Now I'm working 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, and doing habit tracking and doing this. And like, it's less time, it's less intrusive for them. And it's less like, it's more time effective for them. But they're doing more and they're achieving more because of it. And it's also time effective for us as coaches, for us to help better serve them, put more effort into it. And the key thing to this is it doesn't happen overnight. Like I'll never forget that the team almost killed me one night. I said, hey guys, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to email my list and we're going to do it. Now, this is by no means like normal. So like, unless you have a big email list, like this ain't going to happen. So don't think I'm trying to sell you can do this instantly. But I put an email out one night going, hey guys, we're trialing out some new online coaching. Who wants to take part? Here's the deal. Here's the offer, like a startup offer. Yeah. We got 60 clients overnight.
Yeah.
And like, It was like, uh-oh, crap.
It worked.
It worked. The team was like almost killed me because of it. But man, it was hell on earth. It was so bad. Like, it was like we had no idea what we were doing. Yeah. Because we thought we could do. We actually went into the thing. We can do mass market, we can do cookie cutter stuff, and we realized no, this is not us. This is not working. Not right. So we had to develop a system. So for those who want to get into online coaching, online remote coaching, if you want to be another generic, just cookie cutter, go out there and charge a lot for it, crack on. You're fighting it with amongst bottom feeders around here. Yeah. There's a new category, and that's individualized fitness coaching, which the big boys are starting to play with now. And that's where you want to be in. But to do that, you need to have a robust system of education. You need to have a robust system of assessments, and you need to know exactly what you're doing as a coach. Now, I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing as a coach now. What I'm saying is that if it's not written down in a manual, if it's not written down with like procedures, policies, how we do things, then you're always going to struggle because it's inside your head and it's not relatable to coaches to allow you to scale. And that's the thing we're learning the biggest is like, what is the operating procedure for this? What is our system for this? Not using templates, but using systems to help create the program based off of what their individual assessments. So I kind of waffled on a little bit there, but
no, that's great. It's really valuable, man. So where do people find out more, man? Maybe people want to work with you, or they want to find out more about you and what you guys are doing. Where is that information?
Sure. If anyone wants to, a couple of places. Like if you want to learn more about Strength Matters and how we do what we do a podcast, we do a vlog, we do a blog every week. Go to strengthmatters.com. You'll see everything on the website there. Quick and easy links. You'll see our system if you want to learn how we do and how our sales funnels are. You can easily see, and just like a lot of coaches do it, they want to see what we're doing. So feel free to jump on and see what we're doing on there. That's the first thing. Instagram at Strength Matters is the kind of where we're posting a lot of content and getting a lot of media out. And for those who just want to see my adventures on the mountain and boarding most days, at James Breese is is my own personal Instagram, where you can see me like just cruise around the mountains and like play around in the snow, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's my favorite part. Yeah, for sure. Well, James, man, this has been great. Thank you for sharing your story, being so authentic and honest with all of it. I think it's really powerful, and I'm excited for you guys, man. I think you're going to do some really, really cool things in the future.
Thanks, Matt. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. So anytime you need me back on, I'm more than happy to help out.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do that for sure. Yeah,
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Breese. Hey, fitness fans, don't leave yet. It's your host, Eric Malzone, and I have a quick favor to ask. Actually, 3 favors. So, number 1, if you're a fan of our show, I asked you to do something that takes under 3 minutes. Go to iTunes, please, and subscribe to our show. Please, please, please. It means so much to us. It's so important. And then give us a favorable review. We would really, really appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much it means and helps us out. So I know it takes 2 minutes of your day, and it means a lot to us. So please do that. Number 2, go to our YouTube channel, our Fitness Marketing Alliance, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel there. Number 3, if you like this episode or any of the episodes that we've released, share it on social. That's huge. That's a big deal for us. And we put a lot of work into these episodes, trying to give you great, actionable content for the fitness industry. So that would mean a lot. And that's it. So we have some big plans coming up for this show. I'll be talking about that in the next couple episodes. But thank you so much for listening. It means so much. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to hear from everybody. Eric, ERIC, at fitnessmarketingalliance.com.